Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Tuesday, January the 28th, and we're here to look at new releases that have been published this week. On Tuesdays, we look at mysteries and thrillers. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. I do live reading sprints every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. Shall we jump in? There are a lot. First up, a new one by Walter Mosley, third in his King Oliver series. Been Wrong So Long, It Feels Like Right is the title. Joe King Oliver's beloved Grandma B has found a tumor, and at her age, treatment is high risk. She's lived life fully and without regrets, and now has only a single dying wish: to see her long-lost son. King has been estranged from his father, Chief Odin Oliver, since he was a young boy. He swore to never speak to the man again when he was taken away in handcuffs, but now Grandma B's pure ask has opened King's heart, and through his hunt, he gains a deeper understanding of his father as a complicated, righteous man, a man defined by women, a man protected by women, a man he wants to know. Although Chief was released from prison years ago, he's been living underground ever since. Now, King must not only find his father, but prove his innocence and protect the future of his entire family. Simultaneously, King finds himself in a moral bind. Marigold Hart, the wife of a powerful Californian billionaire, has gone missing, along with their 7-year-old daughter. Or is brutish and dangerous, and King realizes after locating her that it's in her best interest to stay hidden. But are his motives pure? There is something magnetic about Marigold. He can't help but want her near. Sounds messy. Jacob Carr has a new one. Good morning, Mary. Happy Tuesday. Gosh, just 2 more people, and I know we're getting close to 400. Thank you. Thank you very much. Kim says, good morning. Hi, Ariel. Good morning, everyone. Hope you are all having a wonderful morning. See y'all at sprints. Yay. And Helen says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Helen. And Mary is saying hello to everybody. Well, welcome, everybody. Thank you for starting your morning this way. Don't Call Me a Fixer. This isn't HBO. In her job as unofficial problem solver for Silicon Valley's most ruthless venture capitalist, Mackenzie Clyde's gotten used to playing for high stakes, even if none of those tech bro millions she's so good at wrangling ever make it into her pockets. But this time she's in way over her head, or so it seems. The lightning rod CEO of tech's hottest startup has just been murdered, leaving behind billions in dead money frozen in his will. As the company's chief investigator, Mackenzie's boss has a fortune on the line, and with the police treading water, it's up to Mackenzie to step up and resolve things fast. Mackenzie's a lawyer, not a detective, cracking this fiendishly clever killing with its list of suspects that reads like a who's who of Valley power players should be way out of her league, except that Mackenzie's used to being underestimated. In fact, she's counting on it. Because the way she sees it, it isn't an investigation, it's an opportunity, and she'll do anything it takes to seize it. Anything at all. He says, gosh, another storm, Helen. Hope all is well. You all have really had some rough weather lately. Hopefully, Kim says, hopefully she'll make the sprints tonight. I hope so too. It'd be good to see you. Every Fall by Angela Douglas. Thriller perfect for fans of Karen Slaughter and Lisa Gardner. I do like those authors. Bree knew that life married to a beat cop would be tough, especially in the crime-infested city of East Bernheim, where she believes they will be fine living in the burner even after she has their first child. Family life is manageable until one day crime follows them home, threatening their safety. At a loss of how to keep his family safe and keep his job, Jake agrees to stretch their finances and move an hour away to a bigger house in a somewhat better neighborhood. Their life seems to improve until Bree, heavily pregnant with their second child, begins to hear voices and suffer strange dreams. And then when tragedy strikes on the job, Jake enters a spiral of guilt and grief that degrades his grip on reality. Bree, isolated and struggling, must protect her children from the one person she thought would always keep them safe. She and Jake are haunted in every way, and not just by whatever is lurking inside the house. A thriller that tackles toxic masculinity in police culture and trauma. This book will have you on the edge of the seat. That is not like Karen Slaughter. Head Cases by John McMahon. FBI agent Gardner Camden is an analytical genius with an affinity for puzzles. He also has a blind spot on the human side of investigations, a blindness that sometimes even includes people in his own life, like his beloved 7-year-old daughter Camilla. Gardner and his squad of brilliant yet quirky agents make up the Patterns and Recognition (PAR) unit, the FBI's hidden edge, brought in for cases that no one else can solve. When DNA links a murder victim to a serial killer long presumed dead, the team springs into action. A second victim establishes a pattern, and the murderer begins leaving a trail of clues and riddles, especially for Gardner. And while the PAR team is usually relegated to working cold cases from behind a desk, the investigation puts them on the road and into the public eye, following in the footsteps of a killer. Along with Gardner, PAR consists of a mathematician, a weapons expert, a computer analyst, and their leader, a career agent. Each of them must use every skill they have to solve the riddle of the killer's identity. But with the perpetrator somehow learning more and more about the team at PAR, can they protect themselves and their families before it's too late? I'm actually kind of intrigued. End of row 1. I will investigate that one more. Because, I have absolutely nothing to read in February. Helen says the whole town has no electric at the moment. Oh no, I was in the middle of typing a large document when it went off. Not sure that I'd saved it. Oh, Helen, I'm so sorry. Is anyone doing any good reading challenges, or do you have any to recommend? I'm doing the 52 book challenge, which is fun, looking for more. I don't do challenges per se. In February I do have a couple readathons that I'll hopefully be participating in. Sarah and Stormy are doing the retro romance readathon, so reading anything prior to 20 years ago, which is 2005. And I think Sarah has some prompts, so if you want, otherwise you don't really need to do prompts. I'm also going to be doing Garbogus 3.5 in the middle of the month, and that's just reading guilty pleasures, trashy, whatever definition you want to put to a garbage kind of book. So I don't know about actual challenges. There might be some listed in Discord. Bring y'all get power back soon, Helen. Absolutely. And how's the temperature? I hope it's not too cold. Helen, so sorry to hear all that. Hopefully your computer is saved automatically as you're going along. Yeah, absolutely. Ariel, readathons, prompts are great too. Thanks. The scavenger hunts in this little group, the Killer Cozies, has something, a book that involves a festival. And then the second one is a new to you author. So, some options there. Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. She gets people to confess their crimes for a living. He knows she's hiding a terrible secret. It's time for the truth to come out. Poe Webb, host of a popular true crime podcast, invites people to anonymously confess crimes they've committed to her audience. Remember the days when podcasts set books were original? She can't guarantee the police won't come after her guests, but her show grants simultaneous anonymity and instant fame. A potent combination that's proven difficult to resist. After an episode recording, Poe usually erases both criminal and crime from her mind. When a strange and oddly familiar man appears on her show, Poe is forced to take a second look. Not only because he claims to be her mother's murderer from years ago, but because Poe knows something no one else does. Her mother's murderer is dead. Poe killed him. Uh-huh. That definitely sounds thrillerish. Rita McFadden has a new one. The Crash. Tegan is 8 months pregnant, alone, and desperately wants to put her crumbling life in the rearview mirror. So she hits the road, planning to stay with her brother until she can figure out her next move. But she doesn't realize she's heading straight into a blizzard. She never arrives at her destination. Stranded in rural Maine with a dead car and a broken ankle, Tegan worries she's made a terrible mistake. Yeah, think? Then a miracle occurs. She is rescued by a couple who offers her a room in their warm cabin until the snow clears. But something isn't right. Tegan believes she was waiting out the storm, but as time ticks by, she comes to realize she is in grave danger. This safe haven isn't what she thought it was, and staying here may have been her most deadly mistake yet. And now she must do whatever it takes to save herself and her unborn child. That is somebody's cup of tea. It is not my cuppa. Joseph Finder has a new one. The Oligarch's Daughter. Paul Brightman is a man on the run, living under an assumed name in a small New England town with $1 million bounty on his head. When his security is breached, Paul is forced to flee into the New Hampshire wilderness to evade Russian operatives who can seemingly predict his every move. 6 years ago, Paul was a rising star on Wall Street who fell in love with a beautiful photographer named Tatiana, unaware that her father was a Russian oligarch and the object of considerable interest from several U.S. intelligence agencies. Now, to save his own life, Paul must unravel a decades-old conspiracy that extends to the highest reaches of the government. Trust Issues by Elizabeth McCullough Keenan and Greg Wands. Siblings Hazel and Kagan Bailey haven't been close for a long time, but when their mother passes under mysterious circumstances, an investigation quickly follows, and the siblings are high on the list of possible suspects. As they deal with the emotional tragedy of losing their only living parent, brother and sister are forced to team up against a master conman, someone they once called family. After the silver-tongued trickster disappears with the family fortune, Hazel and Kagan must put aside their differences to track him down. Along the way, they encounter a host of secrets, lies, and double crosses as they dive into the murky waters of their family's past. With an unlikely ally by their side, the siblings race against time, unraveling a web of deceit that's more tangled than they ever imagined. End of row 2. Told you we had a lot. We're not going to get to them all. Helen says, Kim says, hope you get power back soon, Helen. Helen, good luck with the power. We take electricity for granted most of the time until we were without it and realize how much we depend upon it. Indeed. Or like heat. Mary, how is yours? What are we getting closer? Allison Galen has a new one. We are watching. Sometimes the world is out to get you. Meg Russo was behind the wheel when it happened. She and her husband, Justin, were driving their daughter Lily to Ithaca College, the family celebrating the 18-year-old music prodigy's future. Then a car swerved up beside them, the young men inside it behaving bizarrely, and Meg lost control of her own vehicle. The family road trip turned into a tragedy. Justin didn't survive the accident. 4 months later, Meg works to distract herself from her grief and guilt, reopening her small local bookstore. But soon after she returns to work, bizarre messages and visitors begin to arrive, with strangers threatening Meg and Lily in increasingly terrifying ways. They are obsessed with a young adult novel titled The Prophecy, which was published 30 years earlier. An online group of believers are convinced that it heralds the apocalypse, and social media posts link the book and Meg's reclusive musician father to Satanism. These conspiracy theorists vow to seek revenge on the prophecy's author, Meg. As the threats turn violent, Meg begins to suspect that Justin's death may not have been an accident. To find answers and save her daughter, her father, and herself, Meg must get to the root of these dangerous lies and find a way to face the believers head on before it's too late. It's just a book. Helen says, I know I'm watching on my iPad. Just realized that when the battery goes, I can't charge it back up. Ugh. Need to, doesn't help you right now, but it would be nice maybe to have a backup like solar power upper. Mary says, got the estimate to replace the gas line and now to find a bank to rob. Oh man, higher than I hoped, but it is what it is. So I have to figure out how to pay for it. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Chain Reaction by James Byrne, third in the Des Limerick series. Desmond Aloysius Limerick, Des to his friends and close personal enemies, is a man with a shadowy past, certain useful, hard-won skills, and, if one digs deep enough, a reputation as a good man to have at your back. He was trained as a gatekeeper. He can open any door, keep it open as long as necessary, and control who does and does not go through. Now retired from his previous life, Des still tries to keep his skills up to date. Knocking around the country, picking up the occasional gig as a guitarist, Des is contacted by a friend in urgent need of his musical skills. At his behest, Des flies to the East Coast to a gig at the brand new massive complex, the Liberty Center. But he's barely landed before he finds himself in the midst of a terrorist attack. A group has taken over the whole center, and thousands of hostage lives are in danger. With the semi-willing help of a talented thief, Des takes on the impossible task of outfighting and outwitting a literal army. But that's just the beginning, as Des learns he was actually lured there under false pretenses by someone who knows more about Des, his past, and his skills than any living person should. Hold Strong by Robert Dugoni. Jeff Langholtz and Chris Crabtree. Based on true events. Sam Carlson is a projectionist in small-town Minnesota where fantasies unspool in glorious black and white for him and for his sweetheart, college-bound math whiz Sarah Haber. When the Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor, Sam is sent to the Philippines and captured as a POW. Brutalized but unbroken by the Bataan Death March and POW camps, Sam is one of 1,800 starved and weakened prisoners herded into the cargo hold of a barbaric hellship called the Arasan Maru, his survival doubtful. Determined to use her math skills on the home front, Sarah is recruited to Washington, D.C. into the covert field of code breaking. When Sarah intercepts a message about a Japanese convoy, the U.S. Navy's mission is clear: sink the Arasan Maru and send it to the bottom of the South China Sea. Now the lives of the two young lovers are about to inadvertently collide in one of the most shocking acts of World War II. Oh. I think you got to be in a certain mood for that. Johnny Careless. Ariel, is your heat still on, Mary? Yes, heat is still out, but it definitely gotten warmer here in VA, which is helping tremendously. I have also been without hot water this whole time too. Bought an electric tea kettle that I can heat water up, so that is helpful. You know, you have to tell yourself, it's not going to be forever. And people 100 years ago went through this too. But wear lots of clothes, etc. Johnny Careless by Kevin Wade. Police Chief Jeep Mullane has been bounced back home to Long Island's North Shore by a heartbreaking case that both earned him his NYPD detective shield and burned him out of the job. Now heading up a small local police department, he finds himself navigating the same geography he did growing up there as the son of an NYPD cop. Jeep is a have-not among the glittering haves, a sharp-witted, down-to-earth man in a territory defined and ruled by multi-generational wealth and power and the daunting tribal codes and customs that come with it. When the corpse of Jeep's childhood friend, Johnny Shambliss, born into privilege and known as Johnny Careless for his reckless golden boy antics, surfaces in the Bayville waters, past collides with present, and Jeep is pulled into a treacherous web. He is challenged by Johnny's wealthy and secretive family and his beautiful, enigmatic drinking game. ex-wife as he untangles a knotted mystery fraught with theft, corrupt local moguls, and decades-old secrets, all while grappling with his own deep-seated grief for his lost pal. End of row 3. Into the Fall by Tamara Miller. This actually comes out on Saturday. For better or for worse, Sarah Anderson has it all. A thriving career, a nice home in Ottawa, 2 young kids, and a marriage coming apart at the seams. Then her husband, Matthew, vanishes without a trace during a family vacation up north. Sarah and her children are nearly lost among the slumbering lakes, treacherous cliffs, and brooding forests of the Canadian Shield. A glacier-scraping realm of ancient beauty and terror, it's a world away from the safety of the suburbs, and a big storm is brewing. A kind rural lawman comes to their aid and takes an interest in the case. The trail goes cold, however, launching Sarah into a year-long odyssey to find her husband. On the way, she must reconnect with her estranged sister and duck the suspicions of a slick city police officer. But that's nothing compared to unearthing the dark secrets buried deep in the granite of her marriage and in herself. And the last one we will get to today, So I Lied by Chelsea Picasso. I don't know. Jocelyn is ready to get married and more ready to have fun. She plans a bachelorette trip to North Wales where she can forget about her strained relationship and focus on the tension among friends instead. It's a welcome distraction. Her friend Rowan used to be the wild child, but after having a kid of her own and losing the father in a tragic accident, she's now the ever-responsible single mother, cautious in every way, except one. Cadence doesn't want to be there. For as long as she's known her friends, she's always felt disparate. Maybe it's because those two share a special bond. Jocelyn's brother was Rowan's boyfriend, and they still feel his loss. Or maybe it's because Cadence has secrets they can never know. As the trip goes on, their friendships begin to crack under the pressure of all the things they leave unsaid, but those might be the only things that can save them. And that is all we have time for. Everybody remember where we parked. Kim says, oh no, Mary. Yeah. Ariel, yes, our part of Virginia is warmer too. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Did you end up getting any snow, Ariel? Kim, I can live with no heat. Hot water? No. Ariel says, I agree. And Kim, we're supposed to be 60s and 70s this weekend next. Oh, that is very good. We're supposed to be in the 40s. There you are, zooming right along. I am. Gosh, that graphic looks so yummy. Indeed. And have a beautiful day, everyone. Yeah, absolutely. And Ariel, yes, we did get snow. It was lovely. All right. Well, tomorrow we will be looking at romance. And depending on time, we might pick up some more of the cozies or these. Or we might just do a big, huge roundup on Friday. We'll see how that goes. Ariel's correcting it. It was lovely. All right. Again, I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. We go for 2.5 hours. Bring your own book, work on a project, or just close your eyes after a day. Entirely up to you. Bring a friend. We are 2 away from hitting 400 if you want to. Mary, thanks so much. Hope to see you later. Have a great day, everyone, and good luck. Absolutely. Same to you. Stay warm. All those things. Be safe. Read good books. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm. Be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.